Hi, this is Lisa Burgess presenting case study Parental Apathy for EDL 856 School Community Relations at Fort Hays State University, Intersession 2015-2016. Category 1, Identifying the Problem. What do we know? At this point in the case study, Mrs. Rose, the new assistant principal, had concerns about not having much involvement with the parents and the community of the school. She had shared ideas with her principal, but he did not encourage the ideas due to the fact that he felt there was little parent apathy. He stated he knew there was little to no interest due to having phone calls with parents and listening to comments at conferences. And from his point of view, the parents did not want to be involved and that the educator should do all the work. At a later meeting, Mrs. Rose decided to ask her principal again and stress the need for some sort of parent involvement. Mrs. Rose's principal agreed to host a meeting to see if parents would even be interested in getting involved. He had made it very clear to Mrs. Rose that he would not approve of any type of PTA or PTO. However, he would consider forming a parents' advisory group, but nothing more. On a Friday afternoon, he announced to the students while in their classrooms that they were to give the following announcement to their parents. It was an invitation that there would be a special meeting at the school a week from this coming Monday at 7:30 p.m. on the topic of parent involvement. The night of the meeting, only 8 parents showed up. What do we still need to know? We still need to know how long it had been since Mrs. Rose's principal attempted to get parent involvement, since he had made his decision that it was no longer necessary. We need to know if he had documented or collected data in regards to these prior failed attempts, and was there any literature that was sent home with the students about the upcoming meeting. C, Identifying the problem. Based on the information provided in Category 1A and B, the obvious problem in the case study is there is no parent involvement at Mrs. Rose's school. Mrs. Rose had concerns about that, and her principal did not. Standard 4C and D states that an education leader promotes the success of every student by collaborating with faculty and community members, responding to diverse community interests and needs, and mobilizing community resources, all while building and sustaining positive relationships with families, caregivers, and community partners. Mrs. Rose's principal had tried in the past to get parents and the community involved, but after multiple attempts and the lack of interest that was expressed to him, he had given up on continuing to try and involve parents and community members. He was displayed in this case study as a veteran in the profession. Another problem that was apparent was the lack of promotion about the upcoming parent information meeting. An announcement was made to students on a Friday afternoon. It would most likely never make it home or relayed to the parents. In the event it had, the meeting date was too far out for any parent to remember and to make plans to attend without some sort of flyer for a reminder. Category 2, the proposed plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. The steps for the plan of action I included was to plan for more advertisement. Examples of the advertisement would include literature sent home, flyers posted in and around the school, verbal communication from classroom teachers and staff, electronic communication in the form of school reach, telephone calls, and text messages. Another step would be to document everything in regards to the planning of this particular event. Document the dates advertisement was sent home and made. Document what worked well and what did not work well for future events and reflection. The next step would be to combine this particular involvement meeting with another event to ensure high attendance rates. B, as the leader, include appropriate strategies you would use to implement your plan. The first strategy I would recommend and implement would be to advertise a few weeks in advance for the upcoming parent informational meeting. I would use advertisement in the form of literature sent home once a week until the day of the event. I would post flyers in and around the school, and especially at pickup and drop-off spots and in the office. I would ask each classroom teacher to make an attempt to call home and let parents know we are hosting this upcoming meeting. And I would make a school reach call to remind parents the week of the meeting. I would also not set the date for a Monday evening. Mondays can be hectic for families getting back into the work and school routine. My second strategy I would recommend and implement would be to keep a detailed record of all advertisement that was used for this event. I am a person of reflection, and in the event this advertisement was successful or was not successful in getting parents to attend the meeting, I would want documentation to reflect on what worked and what did not work for the next event. And the last strategy I would recommend and implement would be to make it worth their while. Families are busy, however, that does not mean they do not care or do not want to be involved. In the event they do take time out of their after work and school schedules, make it worth their while by scheduling this meeting with another event. We have all heard the phrase, kill two birds with one stone. On the night of the parent involvement meeting, host an open house or an art walk in addition to the meeting. Offer refreshments in the auditorium at the time you would like to speak on parent involvement. Have volunteer teachers around the exit areas with sign-up sheets to gather contact information. Once you are done speaking about parent involvement, that is when you may dismiss for open house, art walk, or other events that may have been planned. Category 3, resolve the issues based on promoting the success of all students. The resolution, what is best for the students. The resolution for this case study would be to incorporate parent involvement at John F. Kennedy School. Schools and communities are able to be more successful and thrive when all stakeholders are involved. What is best for the students is that they know all stakeholders support and do what it takes to make them successful in all that they do. My rationale for the resolution. As good educators, we never let students give up. We as administrators should never give up on trying to get parents involved because of a few bad attempts. As good educators, when a child is struggling to learn a concept in a certain way, we do not say they merely cannot learn the content. We try different strategies to present the information. We as administrators should try new strategies and new advertising tools to get parents involved. As good educators, we encourage students to reflect and learn from their successes and failings. We as administrators should also document and reflect on the attempts and advertisement made in order to get parents involved. This will better prepare us for the next attempt. Category 4, debriefing the problem by reflecting on what you were thinking, feeling, and valuing by identifying issues that are unresolved or open to further investigation. As I read and solved the case study, I kept finding myself reflecting on the lack of advertisement and promotion for this meeting. As a future administrator, if I am going to do something or agree to do something or plan an event, I will do it with 100% effort. It was presented as if Miss Rose's principal just didn't care because he knew it was going to be unsuccessful. The entire time I had the feeling that Mrs. Rose's principal just didn't care anymore in general. In the case study, he informed Mrs. Rose he used to feel differently when he first became an administrator. To me, that reflects as the common burnout. I feel he took Mrs. Rose's eagerness for granted and did not teach and encourage her the way a principal should do to their assistant principal when they present ideas or concerns, and especially with this being her first year. As I read the case study, I felt myself valuing my current administration and their drive. They never give up on anything, especially when it comes down to what is best for the students. B. What issues are still unresolved or open to further investigation? Use specific examples, data, information, and models that you have used. The main issue I felt was unresolved and left open was the ending to the case study. What was the final decision for the meeting? Was it canceled, rescheduled, or did it take place? Another issue that was left open was the question if there was any other advertisement about the meeting sent home. One would think it is common sense to send something home. An issue I would like to see investigated would be the documentation of when the so-called parent contact calls and discussions with parents took place discussing the non-interest of being involved in school. Category 5, reflecting on Standard 4. Component 1. How did you, as the building level administrator, collaborate with families and community members to contribute to the school's success? I understood the family's needs and lives after the work and school day. Creating a 2-for-1 night will help parents feel like they can be involved more without giving up all their evenings during the week. I also understood the need for more and frequent communication when collaborating with parents to ensure success in the events. Component 2, how did you as the building level administrator respond to the diverse needs and interests of the community on an ongoing basis? I understood that parents who have kindergartners may not know what a parent involvement meeting entails, so they just don't show. By creating a 2-for-1 night, they may come to open house and see how much parent involvement organizations do for our school and their students and decide to join. I understood the need for documentation on planned events. To spike interest in all events, it's good practice to reflect on what was planned for the high and low attendance events. Continue that ongoing to have a greater turnout each event. Component 3, how did you as the building level administrator mobilize community resources to address and help solve problems in a way that supports the school? I understood that in order to solve the problem of low interest and attendance for parent involvement meetings and events, you must be proactive in advertising for the events.